Hello, my name is Dan Burton. I'm the CEO of Health Catalyst, and I'm thrilled to participate in the Silicon Slope Startups Conversations.
How's everyone doing? Feeling good? So, I don't know if you've heard, but things are going pretty well in Silicon Slopes and in tech in Utah. And we've had a lot of major companies exit or go public or do a variety of different things over the past couple of years. And the most recent IPO in Utah is happened by under the leadership of the man sitting right next to me in Dan Burton and Health Catalyst. So give it up for Dan and the incredible work that you've done to get that. IPOing is not an insignificant thing. So maybe we start there. What was that process like in taking Health Catalyst public earlier this year?
There are a spectrum of strategies that companies take when they think about going public. And there are pros and cons to each strategy. So we ended up trying to choose a strategy that was consistent with our long-term mission. I do feel like there were a couple things that we got right. So one of them was in writing the prospectus. It's a really, really long, boring document for those who have gone through and read prospectuses. Ours was over 250 pages, and you're required to just disclose an unbelievable amount of information. And because those documents are so long, there's something called the box at the beginning of the prospectus, which is designed to be essentially an executive summary. And it's usually somewhere between 5 pages and 15 pages. And it's designed to be the Cliff Notes version of why an investor should care about investing. And there's a very typical set of content that's usually included in the box, so it's really precious real estate. And I still remember the kickoff meeting with all of our banking advisors and our legal advisors. We're all in this big room in Salt Lake City, and the topic of the discussion was what to put in the box. And our advisors came in with a very pronounced perspective, but we had studied and thought about this as well, and we came in with a really pronounced perspective that we should start with the mission of the company, and then we should go to the operating principles, and then we should go to the cultural attributes, and then we should talk about how what we do translates to measurable improvement for our clients that's consistent with why we exist and our mission. And when we laid it out, it took up the first 4 pages of the box. So we met with 200 public market investors in one setting or another, and it's all still a blur when I think back of the experience. But there were 4 or 5 of those settings where after the meeting, some variation on this occurred. The public market investor would come up afterwards with our prospectus in hand and have earmarked the pages in the box where we talked about the mission, operating principles, and cultural attributes. And they shared, number 1, I've never seen another company do this, so that's interesting. Number 2, I love your operating principles and your cultural attributes and your mission orientation. And the third part that was also surprising but encouraging was some version of, I took this home because I wanted to have a little family council with my kids. And we're going to talk about how we're going to try as a family to follow some of these operating principles and cultural attributes like humility and better respect for each other and basic stuff we didn't invent, but timeless principles that we believe that when they are applied, they benefit every setting.
So what is Health Catalyst's mission?
We want to be the catalyst for massive, measurable, data-informed healthcare improvement. And fundamentally, we believe that the $3.5 trillion U.S. healthcare ecosystem can be transformed through the use of more pervasive data. That if every decision that's made with regards to every healthcare decision on the planet is made with data informing that decision, we'll all be healthier, we'll all be happier, we'll lead more meaningful lives. We're good at a few things related to organizing data, analyzing data, and then enabling that data to be used to make better decisions.
And I'm super interested in the operating principles too, that people were taking home and telling their kids about.
Oh, well, thanks for that softball. So I love talking about this, so Clint kind of knows this about me. We have 4 operating principles at Health Catalyst. So the first one is improvement. If what any team member is working on any day doesn't tie back to that mission of data-informed improvement, then we should be asking, why am I spending time on this? The second is ownership. So we want every team member to act like an owner. And so we make every team member an owner. We want them to solve problems like owners, entrepreneurs. We want them to be accountable. And we don't micromanage our team members. So we want them to feel like every team member is a representative of the company. Respect is the third one. What I view as a synonym for respect, which is love. That we should, in every interaction with every other human being, be incredibly respectful. We should care about that other human being. And then transparency is the fourth. So we talk a lot about transparency, which is, again, a synonym for honesty or integrity. And we talk a lot at Health Catalyst about how transparency is most important when it's hardest to be transparent, which is usually when the news is sensitive or bad or hard. And so one of the examples with team members is every 2 weeks we have an all-team member meeting, and a standing agenda topic is we always review questions or feedback that has come in through anonymous Ask Leadership Anything sources. And we always review the last 2 weeks worth of Glassdoor reviews. And as you know, Glassdoor is a very transparent, unfiltered source of feedback about team members' experience at Health Catalyst. But my view is it's important to shine a light on the feedback, especially when it's difficult.
How do you, because one of the things that in my experience with you and with Health Catalyst that makes you so unique is the way you lead, the way you think about leadership, and the way your employees view your leadership. So do you think that was, because you had a very successful IPO, was leadership part of that, and how do you think about leadership, and do you have any advice to just the broader tech company on ways they could improve that?
At Health Catalyst, I think one of the things I'm proud of that we've done is we try very hard to be principle-based, principle-centered in the way we think about leadership. And again, it goes back to this belief in timeless principles that we did not invent. So humility is one of those principles. But we can benefit from those principles. So when we apply those principles, those timeless principles like respect, like humility, like the golden rule, we talk a lot about how part of our long-term competitive differentiation, we believe, is just consistently trying to apply the golden rule, which we don't have a trademark on that or a patent on that, but it seems to lead to incredibly deep and positive and long-term relationships between one another as teammates, between us and our customers, where they choose to renew and expand with us over time. And our belief is that whenever and wherever these principles are applied, good things happen. And whenever and wherever these principles are violated, bad things happen. I took on this role a little over 8 years ago, and there were 5 of us at that point in time, and 1 CEO. So then you fast forward to today, and we're approaching 800 of us, and there's still just 1 CEO. So that's tricky. We as leaders need to take time off. We need to be visible when we take time off. And we shouldn't have the perspective that when we step away from the company, somehow the company can't function without us. My wife, Sarah, might be here. She was gonna, yes, hi Sarah. my wonderful wife, Sarah, and I are about to celebrate our 24th wedding anniversary. And she had a birthday a couple weeks ago. And thank you. So we went on a river cruise in September. And we were gone for 9 days. And I came back and the company was a little bit better than when I left. If we are going to be that catalyst to enable data-informed improvement for every human being on planet Earth, we need to be a lot bigger. So that's what's next for us, is a mission that's worth getting up in the morning, where if we're accomplishing that mission, we can also track the lives that were saved as a result of data-informed improvements being made, injuries prevented, health improved, and my goodness, we got to get up and do something, right? And this feels like an incredibly worthy thing to be a part of, and so we again think of this as a multi-decade journey, and we're excited about the next chapter for sure.
Every time I'm around you, I feel more and more inspired. You're an unbelievable leader. Please give it up for Dan Burton.